Merchandising, regardless of whatever form of media you fall into, whether it's from books to movies to video games, any form of media whatsoever, there's always going to be a strand of merchandise that goes along with it. And trust me whenever I say this, Kingdom Hearts is no exception. In fact, for the most part, Kingdom Hearts fans, depending on where you fall into, depends on how far in terms of collecting these merchandises you are willing to go. Nowadays, we've got stuff from like going to concert events where you get like a special keyblade, kind of like that percussion one, whatever they call that thing or whatever, to going to a Disney hotel-themed Kingdom Hearts. Yes, an actual hotel room within Tokyo Disney, go figure, all the way halfway across the world, hotel theme in regards to Kingdom Hearts. So trust me whenever I say this, in terms of merchandising, depending on where you rank in terms of how much you can afford, depends on the form of merchandise you can possibly encounter. But that wasn't always the case back whenever Kingdom Hearts 1 came out. Keep in mind, 20 years ago, much less 15 years ago, merchandising for Kingdom Hearts wasn't as heavy as it is now. I mean, think about it, a few years ago, most of us would starve for any form of Kingdom Hearts merchandise. Hell, we would drool at the fact that there were plates being made in Kingdom Hearts theme. Plates, fork utensils, and stuff of that nature. We would drool over that. Hell, most of us lost our minds when they were boxer shorts in Kingdom Hearts theme factions. Understandably so, because there wasn't a large plethora of merchandise actually being made for Kingdom Hearts fans to consume naturally. And by naturally, I mean not needing to be broke all the time. So let's kind of rewind back and kind of look at the advancements that we've had in regards to Kingdom Hearts merchandise, shall we? Because what other way to do it than to look after the release of Kingdom Hearts 1. As far as back as I can remember, there was actually one set of merchandise that actually existed for a small period of time, and that were these little figurines that you would get. They were actually part of a bigger series known as, I believe, what were they called again? They were called Disney Magical Collection. And the funny thing is, Kingdom Hearts wasn't the only one that actually was being made for it. They were actually part of a much bigger line, Hong Kong Disney or Shanghai Disney Collected, because I never saw these here in America. I never saw those. But they had like Aladdin stuff, they had Aristocats. Aristocats is actually underrated when you think about in terms of actual merchandising from Disney, you know? Alongside with many other Disney properties that they don't advertise as heavily, Aristocats. But yeah, they were actually part of this magical collection, Kingdom Hearts figure-wise, and I remember actually having them years ago. I did not, though, however, know that they had a Halloween Town versions of these things. So they had Donald and Goofy with the Dream Weapon version, and Sora, you can't really see from this light angle, but I imagine that's the Pumpkin King Keyblade, or otherwise, it'd be pretty interesting if that turned out to be the Dream Sword, because if that was the case, I'd probably get that, just to have the Dream Sword. Next up, a new set was actually released. I don't know what company actually produced these, but they were actually these other Kingdom Hearts figures. They were 2 figures each. One of them contained a hero, and another one contained a villain. The hero character would of course either be Sora, Riku, or Kairi, or being that of the Disney heroes such as Goofy, Donald, Jack Skellington, Simba perhaps, Beast, Pluto, and of course the villains would be that of either the Disney villains like, say for example, Captain Hook, Maleficent, Jafar, or even the Heartless such like the Dark Side, Bandit Heartless, and surprisingly, my personal favorite, Guard Armor. And of course this was the only form of merchandise that actually came out during that time period. And keep in mind, this was a time period between Kingdom Hearts 1 to Chain of Memories. Now after Chain of Memories, another form of merchandise got released, being that of the Kingdom Hearts trading card game. How was it? I don't remember. I really don't remember. The funny thing was, I actually remember getting a set of these trading cards and wanting to play it. I don't remember how you play the trading card game, and at the same time, I don't remember it being actually good. it definitely didn't go as well as, like, say, for example, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, or even Pokemon for that matter. So, it didn't really come up as much, sadly. It did kind of go for a long period of time, surprisingly. It kind of did. I think it kind of faded sometime after Kingdom Hearts 2 was released, which is actually pretty long when you think about it. And of course, after the release of Kingdom Hearts 2, there was a plethora of other form of merchandises that would come out. Not technically official, mind you, but they were merchandises that was released under Kingdom Hearts 2 umbrella. But of course, this was also the start of a new branch of stuff that was being released from Square Enix, known as Play Arts. Play Arts had a couple of Kingdom Hearts 1 merch, but they was mostly from like Sora and Riku from what I remember. But then we had Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 2, I actually remember Kingdom Hearts 2 Play Art figures more than I do Kingdom Hearts 1, because not only did you have Sora or Kairi in her school uniform, which I thought was weird, just the school uniform, not her original look. Didn't see a Riku version. It's weird, it's weird. A lot of people say they technically have saw it, but I have never actually seen a Riku Play Arts figure. Not in terms of that same genre, like how Sora, Kairi, and of course Roxas and Axel. Roxas, of course, was in his Twilight form look, and of course you have Axel in his original Organization 13 look. But then, throughout the ages, as we got, like, different releases from, like, Recoded, to Days, Burst by Sleep even, and even up to Dream Drop Distance, we didn't get that much merchandise at all. Like, barely any. If you saw any form of merchandise, they were actually more related to Kingdom Hearts 2's merchandise line. Want a shot glass? There's Kingdom Hearts 2 related. Want a drinking glass? Straight from Kingdom Hearts 2. Want a wallet? Kingdom Hearts 2! Oh, you're not tired of seeing Kingdom Hearts 2 merchandise? Well, guess what? There's bunches of wall scrolls, fabric covers, whatever you could think of, they have put on. All mostly Kingdom Hearts 2 related. Kingdom Hearts 2 had a long lifespan of merchandising. They were put on everything. It was so hard to see this. I don't know why. I don't know why there were so many Kingdom Hearts 2 merchandise. Of course, it was thanks to the reveal of the development for Kingdom Hearts 3 finally being made that we finally got to see new merchandise being released. Slowly but surely. We had technically Dream Drop Distance looks from Sora and Riku in Dream Drop Distance, both in their original outfits, as well as, surprisingly, Tron Legacy. And then, of course, from there on out, we had a plethora of number of Kingdom Hearts 3 merch rolling out the gateway. We had the Play Arts / Bring Arts that eventually come out to be, and Bring Arts more or less took over where Play Arts began. Play Arts kind of had a different form look, you know? You had the Play Arts that looked like their normal looks, but then Play Arts evolved and got bigger. But at the same time, as they got bigger, they also became more expensive. So to coincide against this price match, they decided to shrink down the size again, back to their original stasis, and thus charge the price that it is. And of course, as you can see, I almost have all of the Bring Arts of Kingdom Hearts, almost being the key word because Nominate just got recently announced. And of course, next to that, we also have a plethora of jewelry that they made. We got suitcases, purses, wallets even, and this legacy chessboard that we've all seen from the freaking reveal trailers for Kingdom Hearts 3, and it's $700. $700? What? Why is it that much? Unless this thing is made of pure gold, both yellow, white, black, whatever gold form there is. What? $700? Of course, they're not just making expensive jewelry or expensive chessboards, they're also making inexpensive ice trays or mouse pads. They've even made a clock. But of course, most Kingdom Hearts fans, and I say most, may not be able to afford the official merchandise, for obvious reasons. But if you can't afford it, you can always go into the secondary market, being that of handmade goods. Being that of either from Redbubble, eBay, or most popularly, Esse's. Essie makes a plethora of content for Kingdom Hearts. People who love Kingdom Hearts know how to make good items for Kingdom Hearts. And when I say good, oh, they're good. Hell, one of the original Essie projects that I actually got from Essie was, of course, this Kingdom Hearts 3 theme throne chair. I love it. When I saw that, I was like, oh, gotta get that. And it's funny, too, because it happened sometime after Final Fantasy 15 with Noctis and his throne chair. I did the same thing for Sora, and it's like, what is up with me and buying chairs for figures? I mean, I don't do it for every one of them, or otherwise I would have gotten Kairi's throne chair that was in Melody of Memory, which I don't... You know what, we're gonna look at that. Give me just a sec. Well, as far as Xyz, I don't think anyone's actually made a Pacific Throne for Kairi yet. I imagine if there was, that would be interesting. But technically we do have it officially being released in regards to the 20th anniversary. But, I imagine that's a lottery pull, and that's gonna go up in price. I mean, there's still so many other forms of merchandise out there. There's still, like, plushies, like, for example, this official Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance Meow Wow plush. There's actually another subcategory known as these Formation Art Figurines, and some of them look awesome. I especially love this set where there's like Sora, Donald, and Goofy, and it looks like they're on top of tower buildings, Traverse Town, I believe. And it's kind of, I like how they look, and the more you look at them, the more cooler they all look. Some of them even span from like Kingdom Hearts 2. So there's just so much merchandise, and if you keep going down the list and keep looking and looking like I have, you'll realize I'm gonna be broke again. But I mean, I myself personally am happy with the collection that I've built up in regards to Kingdom Hearts stuff, from the Play Arts and Bring Arts figures to all of the games, from all of the different sets and stuff like that, to small little knickknacks here and there. And then of course there are the weapon replicas that I've got of the Keyblades, which I've now got to a point where I can't actually hold all of them. I probably could, but it would be insane and stupid probably, more than likely. So I mean, the list goes on. I mean, there's even pop figures, there's little keychains. There's so much freaking merchandise now that is really good to see that the Kingdom Hearts merch line has grown since, like, before Kingdom Hearts 3. Before Kingdom Hearts 3, there wasn't really much of any merchandise, and now there's a lot of merchandise, from low tier to, like, rich kid tier, and it's insanely stupid to think that someone would actually afford to stay in a hotel Kingdom Hearts theme related, and very few people would be able to get a chance to do so. In fact, from what I've heard, that is completely booked all the way through. So it's like, oh lordy. I mean, I've seen people reveal stuff in regards to that hotel room, and there are certain items that they can't reveal quite yet, but some of them are still cool nonetheless. I would love just to be able to stay just one night in this hotel theme room, but unfortunately I don't have that kind of money, especially since I'm here in America, and that is all the way in Japan. And then of course there's also another layer of merchandise that's more than likely going to be revealed at this so-called Kingdom Hearts event that's going to be happening by the time this video released, probably right this second, right now. On April 10th, they have this Kingdom Hearts pop-up event, and it's like, oh gosh, oh man. But I love it all. I love every moment of it. I love Kingdom Hearts merchandise, and if you are a fan of Kingdom Hearts merch, you also love it too. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite items that you've collected in regards to Kingdom Hearts themes? Were they figure related? Were they plush related? Or maybe it was something different, something that I've never heard of before. Perhaps maybe I didn't even cover it in this video, because trust me whenever I say this, there's a lot of merch. And there's a lot of it. Some of it recently available, and some of it impossible to buy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. See you next video. Catch you guys later.